Hi, welcome to Ramnathim Ganitshala. Today we are going to introduce set theory. Okay, so now do you know what do you mean by a set? Now set is a collection of well defined objects which are distinct. Okay, so let's take an example of a set. Okay, let A B, or rather A is a set of all natural numbers. So naturally, if A is a set of all natural numbers, it would have, what are natural numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are all natural numbers. Okay, 0 is not a natural number. It starts from 1 onwards, goes all the way on the positive side of the number line. Okay, so now how do we write this? It is represented as A open curly braces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and close the curly braces. Now this is how we represent a set, right? Each of this 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, each of them is called as a member or element of the set. So which are the elements of the set? Is 1 the element of the set or is 1 the member of the set? Yes. Okay. So this is how we represent a set. Okay, curly braces and put all the members inside those curly braces separated by a commas. Okay, great. So now that's okay. Let's take, okay, so all right, oh, this is fine. Okay, so now how about let us take another example. Okay, wherein we say Z, or rather T, is a set of even numbers less than 10. Okay, less than 10. So can I write it as, open the curly braces, even numbers? So 2, 4, 6, 8. I can't have 10 because set has elements which are even numbers less than 10. It cannot be 10. Alright. Are these two the same? Can I also write it as 8, 6, 4, 2? Or can I also write it as 4, 2, 6, 8. The order in which you write down the members of the set does not matter as long as they have the same elements, they are the same set, or those sets are the same. Okay, so 2 is here, 4, 4, 6, 8. So I can write it as anyhow. I can also write it as 6, 8, 2, 4. Does not matter. They all are the same set. All right. Now, one other thing, right? The members of the set is written only once. So, for example, if this is a set, let us say K is a set, right? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 5, 6, 7, right? What is set? A set is a collection of well defined objects which are distinct. Now in this case, right, 1, I write it as 1, 2, 3, but 2 is already written. right? So I will not consider 2 again because it is already there. 1 is already there. I will not consider. I can write 5 and 7. So this is correct. I have weeded out the duplicate entries, right? In sets, when you represent, you would see that there are no duplicate entries, no duplicate elements, okay, when you represent the sets. All right, that's good. So in this case, I removed 1 because 1 was appearing 2 times, and I removed 2 because 2 was also appearing twice. Okay. All right. So this is good. Okay. Great. Now let's start with our original example, okay, wherein A was a set of all even numbers less than 10. Okay, so this was 2, 4, 6 and 8. The question is A a finite set? Now what do you mean by finite? Can you count the number of elements in this set, right? Yes, there are 4 elements in this set, there are 4 members, so this is a finite set, right? Now let me just note it down, finite set here, to come back to it later. Okay, so similarly, all even numbers less than 100, can we count? Let's say B is a set of all even numbers less than 100. So can I say B is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, so on and so forth, and it becomes 96 and 98. I can still count. So B is again a finite set. Now if this is a finite set, what are those sets wherein it's not a finite set, or it's called as an infinite set? Okay, let's see that. Okay, what are those? Okay, let B be a set of all whole numbers. Okay, set of whole numbers, all not required, it's understood. B be a set of whole numbers. So I can say B is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. It's like it never ends. It goes on. 100, 101, 102, 103, 1000, 1001, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 1 crore, 10 crore, right? So this is a never ending. The elements in this, they just keep on increasing, they never end. So this is not a finite set. You cannot count the number of elements in this set. So it is a infinite set. Similarly, the set of natural numbers or the set of integers, never ending. So infinite set. Okay. Now let's take another example, right? So this is a finite set, then we also said infinite set. Great. Now let's take another. C is a set of prime numbers. I am sure you know by now what are prime numbers, between 90 and 100. Okay. So C is a set of prime numbers between 90 and 100. Okay. So what are prime numbers? Okay. So let's start with 91. Okay. Before that, what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are those numbers which are divisible completely by 1 and itself. So by 1 and itself only. Okay. So let's say 10. Is 10 a prime number? 10 is divisible by 1, 10 and 5 and 2. So it is not a prime number because it is divisible by 5 and 2 as well in addition to 1 and itself. Okay. How about 7? Is 7 a prime number? 7 is divisible by 1 by itself and no other number. So 7 is a prime number. Okay. 7 is a prime number. Now, which are those numbers between 90 and 100 which are prime numbers? Let us see. Let's start with 91. 91 is divisible by 1, 91, 13 and 7. 13 sevens are 91. So is not a prime number. 92 no, because it is even, is divisible by 1, 92, 2 and many others. So it is not a prime number. Okay. 93, 1, 93 and 3 again. So it is not a prime number. It has more than, there are more than 2 numbers which divide, or it has more than 2 factors. Okay. 94 no, because 1, 94 and 2, right, because all these even numbers are divisible by 2. So naturally they are not prime numbers. 95 yes, 1, 95 and 5. So it is not a prime number. 96 no, 97, 98 and 99. Let's see. 98 is not, it's a even number, so 198 and 2 will also divide. 99 is divisible by 1, 99 and 3 again, right? So more than 2 factors, or there are more than 2 numbers which divide it completely. So 99 is also not a prime number. So that leaves us with 97 and 97. Yes, you can give it a shot. You'll realize that only 1 and 97 divides it completely and no other numbers in between would divide. So 97 is a prime number. Okay. All right. So C I can represent as, there is only one element in the set which is 97. So when you have one element or one member of the set, it is called as a unit set or a singleton. Singleton or unit set. Okay, when you have only one member in that set, in any set, that set is also called a singleton or unit set. So let me write it down. All right. Great. So that was unit set or singleton set. All right. So now let's move on to another example. Okay. All right. Now D is a set of natural numbers which are multiple of 13 and lie between 80 and 90. All right. So this is the problem about a set D, which is a set of natural numbers which are multiple of 13 and which lie between 80 and 90. Now if you see the table of 13, 13 6s are 78 and 13 7s are 91. So there is no multiple of 13 which lies between 80 and 90. Okay. So there is no multiple of 13 which lies between 80 and 90. So D becomes, you just write as it is, a set without any members or elements. It is also called as a empty set, also denoted as this. All right. So right. So we studied about empty set. Empty set will not have any member or elements in it. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Now let's start with taking two sets at a time. Okay. All right. Okay. E is a set. I am just going to now write it as straight away. E is a set of natural numbers which are multiple of 11. Okay. So 11 is a member of this set. 22, 33, 44, 55, and it goes on and on, right? F is a set of natural numbers which are multiple of 7. 14 is a member, 7 through the 21, 28, okay. And so on and so forth, right? The question is, would there be some elements which are present in both set E as well as set F? Okay, is there an element or a couple of elements which are there in set E as well as set F? You would realize that set E has 77. Similarly, set F also has 77. 7 11s are 77, right? So which means that there are some elements which are common to both sets E and F. So E and F are overlapping sets because there are some elements which are common to both E and F. So E, set E and set F are overlapping sets. Okay. All right. Okay. So we understood what an overlapping sets are. Sets in which have elements which are common to both of them, right? All right. Now let's take another example, right? All right. We studied about overlapping set, but would two sets always overlap? Let's see. G is a set of all natural numbers which are even. Okay, so let me write that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and it goes on, right? Definitely G is a infinite set because G is a set of all natural numbers which are even, right? So I have written it down and it just goes on. You cannot put that this is the last element in this set because it is, you cannot find such element. It just goes on. It is an infinite set. All right. Now how about H? Now H is a set of all natural numbers which are odd. So odd natural numbers. So 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. Great. So even this is an infinite set. Now tell me, would there be any element which would be common to both? Right? You guessed it correctly. There is no element which is common to both because these are all odd numbers, these are all even numbers. If there is a number which is common to both, it becomes odd number and even number simultaneously, which cannot be the case. So set G and set H have no member or element which is common to both. So set G and set H are disjoint sets, are called as disjoint sets. Okay, sets which do not have anything, any member in common or element in common, disjoint set. Okay, sounds good. All right. All right. All right. So we studied about finite set, infinite set, unit set, empty set, overlapping set, and disjoint set. Okay. Okay, let T as we took, right, set of all numbers, set of all even numbers which are less than 20. So T is a set of all natural even numbers less than 20. So it becomes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18. Okay. So T is a set of all natural numbers which are even and less than 20. Alright, done. So this is the set. Can I count the number of elements in this? Now this is a finite set, okay, because it never goes on and on. It at some point of time you can actually say this is the last element in the, this is the maximum, this is the element which is the maximum, or rather how do I put it. So in this case, this is the element, 18 is the element which is the highest element in this set. There is no other element beyond 18, okay, because it is a number, I can say that. All right. So the number of elements, there are, I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right. There are 9 elements in set T. Now that is called as the cardinal number. Okay. All right. So what is cardinal number? The number of distinct elements in a finite set. This is a finite set and the number of distinct element is 9 in this case. So 9 is the cardinal number of the set. All right. So we studied about cardinal. Okay, good. Now, all right. So what's next? Okay. All right. Now there is a, students usually get confused between equivalent set and equal sets. Okay. Now let me take an example. I is a set whose elements are A, B, C. J is another set whose elements are 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now you see the cardinal number of I denoted as is 3. 3 elements in this set. Similarly, cardinal number of set J is again 3. Their cardinal numbers are equal. So set I and J and set J are equivalent sets. Sets I and J are equivalent sets because their cardinal number are the same, but they are not equal sets because the members are not the same, right. Let us take another example, set K, and we have, let us say 3, 1 and 2. Our sets K and J equal sets? To answer that question, I need to see if they have the same elements. 1 is there, 1 is there, 2, 2, correct? 2 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, 3 is here, 3 elements here and 3 elements there. So, K, set K and set J are equal sets. Okay. Set K and set J are equal sets. Set I and set J are equivalent sets. Okay. They are not equal because the elements do not match. They are not the same elements, right? The number of elements in both are same, 3 elements here, 3 elements here. So, they become equivalent sets. Now, you would see all equal sets are equivalent because cardinal number of K is what? 3 again. So, cardinal number of equal sets would also be same. So, all equal sets are equivalent sets, but all equivalent sets may or may not be equal sets, right? In this case, these are two equivalent sets, but they are not equal, right? Great. So, I think you understood that. All right. Sounds good. We'll move forward. Right. Now, let's take another example, right? Okay. Okay, good. So, let us take an example of two more sets. Set L is a set of all natural numbers which are multiple of 12. So, 12 2s are 24, 12 3s are 36, 12 4s are 48, 12 5s are 60 and goes on. Okay. And M is a set of all even natural numbers. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, great, right. So, tell me, do you think every element of set L is in set M or not, right? You would realize that all elements of set L are even numbers. 12 is even, 24 is even, 36 is even, 48 is even, 60 is even, and so on. Every number would be a even number. Okay. If this is a even number, if every number is even, naturally they would all fall into, those elements would also fall in set M as well. So, 12 is anyway here, 24 also would be in this. So, can I say that every element, every member or element of set L is a member of set M, correct? So, every element here is also present here, but every element here is not present here. For example, 2 is a member of set M, but it is not there in set L, correct? Alright. So, now let us consider this point. So, every member or element of set L is a member of set M. So, we say that L is a subset of set M. Set L is a subset of set M, right? It means that all elements of L are present in set M. All elements, 12 is present here, 24 is present here, 36 is present here, alright. Now, it means L is a subset of M. Both are sets. Set L is a subset of set M. Okay. Now, also you realize that M has more elements than L. So, we can also write is a proper subset, because M has all the elements which L has and it has more elements. Okay. So, L is a proper subset of M. Okay. If L is the subset of M, M is called as a superset of L. Okay. L is a subset of M. Also, you can say M is a superset of L. Okay. So, sounds good. If I start with L saying that L is a subset, I can also say M is a superset of L. Okay. So, that is what we studied, subset, superset. Great. What do you think? Is this a finite set or an infinite set? Infinite set, right? It is not a unit set because many elements, not one. Empty set? No, because there are so many elements already, right? Do you think L and M are overlapping sets? Definitely one is actually contained into the other, right? All elements of here are present here. So, yes, definitely they overlap. Are they disjoint? No, because they are overlapping. So, definitely there are some elements which are present in both. So, it cannot be a disjoint set. Okay. All right. Fine. Perfect. Okay. All right. So, we move on to the next one. Okay. Now, let us discuss how many subsets can you have for a set. Okay. So, let us say let us take a finite set. Okay. Let us take a finite set N which has 3 elements 1, 2 and 3, correct? All right. Now, how many subsets can this set have? Okay. So, let us take 1, 2 and 3. Okay. These are the elements I am just writing as it is. Okay. Okay. Do you understand what I am doing? Right? If you have not, let me explain. Okay. 0, 0, 0 means this has none of 1, 2 or 3. Okay. It has none of the members, member 1, 2 or 3. Okay. How about this? 1 is in this set, 1 is not there, 2 is not there, but 3 is there, right? In this 2 is there and the other 2 are not there, right? Similarly, you can interpret. Here you have 2 and 3. Here you have 1 only. Here you have 1 and 3, right? Here you have 1 and 2 only, and here you have 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Have I written it correctly? Okay. So, now these are the possibilities. If we have a set with 3 elements, there are 8 possibilities. So, 1 is an empty set wherein it has no element, right? Or you can have just 1 element, right? Or you can have 2 elements, or you can have 3 elements, right? So, the possible subsets, the subsets of set N are empty set or 1, okay, a set which has 1, 2 or just okay 1, 2, 3 or 3, right, or you can have 1, 2 or you can have 2, 3 or you can have 1, 3 or you can have all the 3 elements. Now these are all the possibilities of a subset to this one particular set. Is 3 a subset of I mean, if is this set a subset of n? Definitely, right? All the elements here are contained here. Is this a subset? Yes. Is this a subset of n? Definitely. Is this a subset? Yes. 1 and 2 are there in n. So if there are 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if there are 3 elements, the number of subsets, right, could be 2 raised to 3. Okay. So let me tell you what that is, right? So I am just going to rub this out. I hope you understood what I did here, right? So in this case, n has 3 elements. So number of subsets of n would be 2 raised to 3, which is nothing but 8. So I showed you there were 8 possibilities, correct? Right? In the previous when we wrote that 1, 2, 3 and 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, there were 8 possibilities, right? If a set has k members or k elements, number of subsets would be 2 raised to k. Okay. If there are 100, let's take a small number. If a particular set has 5 elements, it would be 2 raised to 5 is nothing but 32 subsets, possible subsets. Now one of the subset is also this set. If you had realized, right, one of the subset was also this set. So proper subsets would be right, proper subsets of n would be, we have 2 raised to 3, that is 8 subsets, but one of the subset is also the same as n. Proper subset means it definitely should have at least one element which is less than n. Okay. So that would be 2 raised to 3 minus 8, sorry, minus 1, which is 7. Okay. So proper subsets of n would be 8 minus 1. We just do not count the subset which is same as this set. Okay. I hope that is clear. If you want, I'll probably write it once again. Okay. Let me write it anyway. Okay. Let me show you. So let's write all the possible subsets of n one final time. Okay. Possible subsets of n are, let me change my marker. Empty set, this is nothing but the Greek letter phi, which is also used to denote empty set. So this or this. All right. So I'll just use this in the meantime. this set is also a subset of this. These are all singleton sets. Alright, these are all singleton sets. What are singleton sets or unit set? Sets which have a single element or member in it are called as singleton sets. So, one element, and they all of them are subsets of this. Now, let us go for sets which have two elements and are subset of this. So, it can be this, or it could be this, or it could be and 3. Okay. So, we have exhausted all combination of two elements in a set. Okay. Now, how about 3 elements in a set? Just one set will have all 3, and which is nothing but the same as n, right. So, this set, remember one thing, a set is a subset of itself. So, n is a subset of itself. Okay. Now, so this is a subset which is same as the original set itself, right. But if we want to find out, these are all the possible subsets, okay, of n. What if I ask you how many proper subsets are there, right? So, this is not a proper subset, okay. This is not a proper subset, okay, because n has the same number of elements as this set. A proper subset means, let's take an example, right. So, if say n is 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, right, k, let k be equal to 1, 3, right. I can say k is a proper subset of n because all the elements in k are in n. 1 is there, yes, 3 is there, yes, and n has more elements than k, which is 2, one more element, at least one more it has. So, n is a proper, k is a proper subset of n, right. So, in this case, all these guys are proper subset because it has at least one element less than n, but not this, it has the same number of elements. So, possible subsets is nothing but 2 raised to 3, and possible proper subsets is nothing but 2 raised to 3 minus 1 is 7 here, 8 here. If there are n elements, this would be 2 raised to n, and this would be 2 raised to n minus 1. Okay. So, I guess that is clear now. Alright. So, let us move on to the next part, which is called as the universal set. Alright. Alright. Let us see what are universal sets. Okay, let us note down, we covered this. Okay, all right. Now, universal set. Now, in a given problem, okay, there would be a set which has all the possible elements which are relevant to that problem. Now, that set is called as a universal set. Okay. So, let us see, right. Let us write it down, universal set. So, right, let A be 1, 2, 3, okay. Let set B be 5 and 6, right, and we are dealing here in all natural numbers, okay. So, in the problem, if we are dealing with all natural numbers and set A is 1, 2, 3, set B is 5, 6, then universal set represented as U is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, goes all the way. And is this a finite set? No, it is an infinite set because we are dealing with all natural numbers. So, all natural number will come in the universal set, right. Now every other set in the problem is a subset of the universal set. Is A a subset of universal set? Yes. 1 is there? Yes. 2 is there? Yes. 3 is there. So it is a subset. B. In set B there are two elements 5 and 6. Is 5 here? Yes. 6 here? Yes. So B is also a subset. So all the sets in the problem will be subset of the universal set. So in other words, you can say universal set is the superset of all the sets given in a particular problem. Okay. All right. I think that explains the concept of universal set. All right. So now let's study one more final concept before we close down for the day. So let's assume the universal set is given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 and 10. Okay. Let's say the first 10 natural numbers. So any set that we would define in this particular problem cannot have any member which is not here. Okay. So let's say there is a set A which is 1, 5 and 10. Okay. Can 11 be there? No, because it is not there in the universal set. Universal set is the superset of all the sets in the problem. So 11 cannot be there because it is not there in the universal set itself. Okay. All right. So we go with 1, 5 and 10. Okay. Now this is the question. Now what is complement of a set? Complement of a set A represented as A dash, or you can also write it as A complement, right, is a set A dash, or complement of A is a set which has all the elements present in the universal set but not in set A. So it should be in the universal set but it should not be here. So can it have 1? It is here, but it is also here, so it cannot be here, right? 2 will come here, 3 will come here, 4 will come here, 5 will not come because it is already there in set A. So I just weed that out. 6 will come, 7 will come, 8 will come and 9 will come, right? So A complement or A dash has all the members which are not present in set A. Okay. Now this is fine, you understood this, right? Now let's say this is the universal set. What do you think would be the complement of universal set? Now universal set in a particular problem has all the possible objects or elements or members it can have, right? Whatever is relevant to a particular problem, everything is there in the universal set. So what is the complement of that, right? Universal set is complete, it has everything. So complement of universal set would be those which is those members which are not there in the universal set will fall in the complement of universal set, which is U dash. Okay. So what is that? There is nothing, it would be empty set because everything is there in the universal set. So if everything is there in the universal set, its complement will have nothing, right? It's a empty set. Similarly, complement of empty set is all those elements which are not there in the empty sets. So empty set is empty, it has nothing. So complement will have everything. Correct, na? Think about it a little bit and it should be easy to understand. And this was A dash complement set A is represented as A and A dash. I wrote this to show you the spelling of complement, right? It's not COMPLIMENT, which when somebody scores a goal or scores high marks in the exam, you say you give your compliments to the guy, right? And it's not that complement, It is COMPLEMENT. Just wanted to highlight, right? Okay, sounds good. Then I think with this we have come to the end of this particular session. So in this session we studied about, we introduced the concept of sets, and then we started with what is a finite set, and what are infinite set, and if there is only one element in a set, it is called as a unit set or singleton set, and if a particular set has no members, it is an empty set, right? And then we took examples of two sets, and we said when do we say that a particular set is two sets are overlapping, and when are they called as disjoint? If they have nothing in common, no members in common, it becomes a disjoint set, right? And then we took a finite set, and we found out how many members are there, and that was actually the cardinal number of that set, right? And then we talked about equal and equivalent sets, right? And how you should not confuse between the two. And later on we talked about subsets and superset, right? And we showed that the number of subsets of a particular set can be 2 raised to n, wherein n is the number of elements in that particular set, and proper subset would be 2 raised to n minus 1, right? Alright, so and then we introduced the concept of universal set, right? And we found out what a complement of a set would look like, what would be the members in the complement of a set. I think that brings us to the end. I think that was pretty detailed, and I hope you like today's session. Please subscribe to my videos, give me a like if you think I deserve it, and share this video with your friends so that they can also benefit from what I am teaching here. So that's it. So guys, till we meet next time, take care and God bless. Bye bye.